My third time on an ant being insectoid spaceship, and the power that they have makes it more and more difficult to see the world and see the universe and see consciousness in the same way. So, this is the latest live guided interdimensional meditation astral travel report for Sunday, November 16th. So we did one last night, Saturday, November 15th, and I was not disappointed. So let's just get into it. It was, I'm still recovering. Again, the next day, it's hard for me to function after these meditations. They're getting more and more intense. Not intense in terms of power, the real hardcore power when we were destroying negativity and shifting the earth, when we were doing that for the first couple of years. And my understanding is that we have achieved that. The world has gone through a shift, Earth is changing, and the dimensional split is underway. And now what's happening, it's as if the extraterrestrials are taking us and empowering our frequency, our souls, our minds, our spirits to be able to go into higher dimensional, multi-dimensional spaces. So the meditations have gotten very powerful, and I have to be honest, it's very hard to remember. So if I'm going to be honest with you, I couldn't remember anything today. And when I sat down this afternoon thinking I was just going to make a video, and I couldn't remember what happened. And it's not that I'm not thoroughly conscious during the meditations when I'm verbalizing what I'm seeing, or if I'm channeling what I believe I'm being shown or told. I'm fully conscious. It's just that the energy is at such a high frequency that my brain just can't hold on to it. So I have to go back and listen and remember, oh yeah, that's right, we did this, we did that. So if I'm right, and please correct me if I'm wrong, put in the comments section what you saw, what you remember, so that we all don't think we're going crazy. So what I remember happening is that we started meditating, and I felt the desire to do the normal CE5 protocols, where you come out of your body, you rise up above Earth. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I might be conflating with the other two previous meditations. But if I remember correctly, there was a light, again, coming out of what looked like, I thought, just this light that was showing up in the middle of space. And it was this white light, and it had little rainbowy sparkles, and it was coming down. And so I found myself going into that, and once again when I looked up, I realized, oh, I'm looking up at the belly of an enormous spaceship, and this energy is coming down from that. So followed that up into the spaceship, and I was once again in the presence of these very tall, I'm calling them ant beings. So I guess I should tell you what I'm seeing. I don't see their heads. They're obviously tall, because if I'm looking at one, I'm looking here, I'm looking at what looks like a section of their ant body, and it seems rather thin and circular, and it's shiny, not because it's metal, but their skin seems to be, it comes across shiny like liquid mercury, or something like that. And I believe this one had a red tint to it. I honestly don't remember. And I feel a feminine presence more more than anything else. There's nothing, when you look at it, that gives you any indication of gender, but the feeling was feminine. And if I remember correctly, she said she was a mother. Or that might have been the Mantis that came later. I don't know. Again, in the comments, put your experience, what you saw, and what I did, because I'm going to probably miss things and get it out of sequence. All right, so once again, I was taken towards the front of this ship. And once again, as I was going towards the front of this ship, there are all of these ant beings, and they're all like in reverence to this queen, I guess, and me as we're going, as we're walking up towards the front of the ship there. And so we get to the front part where it's, it looks like the front of a plane where there's just, windows out the front. And so they took us somewhere. I don't remember a whole lot. Please fill in the comment section where they took us. And they were going to show us something having to do with the nature of ourselves, why we're here, something like that. They said something like, you might be shocked at some of the things that you see. I don't remember feeling shocked about anything, but I can see why it would be shocking to some people. And so we went, I believe, once again, I went out of the ship into a light, and in this light there was a raised platform, a raised circular platform, and what I vaguely remember that they were showing us who we were, and what I saw was a lot of insectoids passing by me, going through me. And so the message was, you've been one of us. You've been an ant being, you've been a mantis being, you've been insectoid beings before in other lifetimes. And don't remember a whole lot after that. At some point, I believe I saw a mantis head appear. And what happened was there was a light that was coming out of the mantis being. There was a light coming down the top of my head, down into my heart, and then there was a red light that was coming into my heart, and it was rotating counterclockwise, which would be like it was pulling it in. So it was pulling it into the heart, and the light, the white light that was coming down, that was hitting the red light, that merged and created a golden light that went down into my navel. And then that's when a lot of stuff started happening. And then this energy started going deep, deep within the navel center, and started like reconstructing our unconscious mind, reconstructing the navel. So this is significant because the lower dantian, the navel center, is where all of our energy is stored, where it's processed, and this is where the mind is. So the mind isn't here. The mind is in your navel. And it's your unconscious mind is there, and this is where we process all of our programming, all of our basically we're all of us operate from our unconscious. You think you're making decisions about life, and the truth is that almost everything that you do happens in your unconscious mind, and your brain makes up a reason. I'll give you an example. This was told to me by one of my students about 20 years ago, and he had been doing some study, and this was a study of people whose corpus callosum had been separated. So You have a right side of your brain, your left side of your brain, and there's a small bundle of nerves that connect them. And as long as that is there, the right side and the left side communicate with each other. So, the right side of the brain is more emotional and more spatially oriented, artistic, the way that life is viewed. And then the left brain is very analytical and verbal and visual. So most of us operate in the Western, now modern Western society, we operate from the left side of our brain. In any case, in this experiment, they would whisper it into somebody's ear, get up and go sit on the other side of the room. So whispering to one side of the brain, the person would get up and walk out and sit to the other side of the room. And then they would ask the other side of the brain, why did you walk across the room? And they would make things up. I was tired. I didn't like the light from here. I was thirsty. They make things up. So this point I'm trying to make is that your unconscious mind makes decisions, and your brain will make things up to justify it. So this is important because this energy seems to be completely reconstructing our lower selves. And as I've said, it is my belief that we are in the first of a 3-phase shift. And the first phase is to shift the navel center, the lower dantian, the mind. And this is what gives us power over our physical reality. If your unconscious mind, if your lower dantian is not empowered, balanced, and healthy, you will not be able to have control over your life. You won't be able to control your destiny. So that's why this practice here, the Xuan Wu, this practice, which you can find here at maoshan.thunderwizard.com and at the shop here at thunderwizard.com. The reason why I recommend everybody do that is because it is doing this thing that we're talking about, which is it is shifting the navel center up to a higher frequency, and it will allow you to see your new life, your new world. So, in any case, during this meditation, this is what was happening. If you haven't done it, go do it. You can find all of these guided meditations in the live section of this channel. Just go to the live section and you'll see all of them. So do the most recent one, and you can go through that process in the meditation. I'm also finding it interesting. There are two things that are happening with other people as they share their experience, which I'm finding interesting. One is that as I am leading people in the meditation, they are seeing and hearing things before I say them in the meditation. So it's not just that I'm hypnotizing you into seeing something. I got nothing against that. That's not what's happening. A lot of people will see either very similarly or exactly what I end up saying. So this tells me that something else is going on here. It's not just me taking you through some guided meditation where I hypnotize you into seeing something. Nothing wrong with those kinds of meditations. That's not what's happening here. And I go into these things, I don't have them planned out. I'm as baffled by what I'm seeing as you might be, hearing. I don't plan it out. Anyway, so this energy went in and fixed our navel center, or shifted it, or did something to it. I can't remember what else. There were some other things that felt like that meditation went a long time. We did the Huar breath a few times. We came out of there. What I remember is that when we came out of there and we went back into the spaceship, into that pilot area of the spaceship, everybody was going crazy. All of the ant beings were beside themselves with joy. They were very grateful. They were thanking us. We had done something. We had done something in that meditation which had helped all of the multiverse. And they were very, very happy about that. And then they had to do some work on us because what we had been through was so powerful that they needed to help us integrate the energies so we could bring them back down into more physical manifestation. And I remember channeling some stuff at that point. I don't remember what I channeled. And then we left that place, and then we went through the ship again, making our way to the teleporter or whatever that is at the bottom of that ship. And as we were doing it again, the whole ship was just up and cheering and clapping and dancing, and they were so happy. Whatever we did was just made them so unbelievably happy and so grateful. So I don't know. And then left the ship. I'm sure there was some interactions and communications. Let me know what you experienced. And then I felt the need to send energy directly to Earth. So we did the Huar breath a few times and sent it to Earth. And then we came back into our bodies. But it was a longer one. It was a little over an hour, and it was intense and powerful. So I'd love to hear your take on it. And again, if you haven't done it yet, go to the live section on the channel and look for any of these live guided interdimensional meditations. Okay, and if you want, there's going to be more energy practices coming, easy ones. I'm going to be putting together a video of some very simple standing postures and doing them in order. And I'm also, for those of you who are doing any of the Mao Shan practices, I'm going to be giving a practice which will, with your feet, footwork, you will activate the 64 hexagrams, which means the entire multiverse. And this practice is incredibly powerful, and it stimulates the two main meridians on the feet, which bring energy up from Earth into the body. It's incredibly empowering, and so I'm going to teach that to you. So keep your eyes open for that. All right, that's it. Again, I can just barely keep my eyes open. I'm so wiped out. I love you all, my friends. Please be good to yourselves. If you have any questions about where you should go, what practices you should do, let me know. The websites are here, maoshan.thunderwizard.com. Thunderwizard.com, click on shop. And if you want to get started with the most powerful energy practices in existence, then click on thunderwizard.com, click on shop. You'll see Summoning the Immortals. If you scroll around, you'll also see Celestial Qigong. Those are base practices which will get you connected to power that every single yoga master, Tai Chi master, meditation master that I've shared this or who have purchased this, every one of them have come back to me and said, I've never felt anything of this high frequency. So I dare you to prove me wrong. Do the Summoning the Immortals and see if you don't feel it. And if you do, and you want to know more, ask me questions and I'll guide you where you should go next. Check out both of the websites to learn more. That's it, my friends. Be very good to yourselves. I will see you all very soon.